Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this brief video is about the solar eclipse of the 13th of July. It's actually the first of a 3 eclipse cycle, which is rare. Normally eclipses come in cycles of 2. So this is the first one, the 13th of July solar eclipse. But the second one is the longest eclipse of the 21st century. It occurs on the 27th of July and it's vast. And the third one is another solar eclipse on the 11th of August. Now there's a blog post to go with this. There's my Starwheel Astrology Blog. And in it you'll see the charts of the eclipse. So in Western astrology this eclipse is at 20 degrees Cancer. So Sun Moon at 20 degrees Cancer. In Vedic astrology, it is at 26 Vedic Gemini in Punarvasu Nakshatra, and the nakshatras are the incredibly ancient and powerful and valid 27 sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology. I teach a course in them, and Punarvasu is ruled by Jupiter. So have a look at the chart. So I'm looking at it now and I instantly notice that this eclipse is opposition Pluto. So that makes it huge, potentially, if that Pluto falls on a sensitive area of your chart. Eclipses are powerful anyway, but an eclipse Pluto is deep death and rebirth, tectonic knowing, insight. It's very intense. So if it's on one of your planets, there'll be very big effects. But generally speaking, this eclipse of the 13th of July has very big Mercury issues, and that's because in the Vedic chart it's in Vedic Gemini ruled by Mercury. And generally speaking, the Vedic declaration is based on our incarnational life purpose and our destiny, whereas Western astrology is much more psychodynamic, a psychological depiction. And so this eclipse will particularly bring up Mercury issues, so communication skills, information issues in your life, IT. You can monitor what's happening. At the more important level, it's about how you communicate. You see, there's a violent energy around at the time of this eclipse, the Mars-Ketu conjunction, which is actually, of course, part of the eclipse because it's on the nodal axis of the eclipse. That energy is essentially violent, although it can have technical good extensions and be very inspirational, magical, if you're open to that and can handle it. But you see, if you have an eclipse that's in Gemini, you don't want a lot of aggressive, violent energy around. So please monitor your speech over the coming month of July. You know, make it gentle. That's not self-denying, that's not weak, but it's non-provocative. And particularly it's not scattered. There's nothing Mars hates more than over-discussion. Mars likes a course of action. Yes, he can be far too impatient, but he rightly likes a course of action. But Mercury can go in for scatter, scatter, scatter. Oh, what about this? What about that? Hopeless, you see. So there could be real learning just in that dimension of Gemini for you. Over-questioning can trash action and direction. Mercury isn't just logical, it's also illogical and androgynous and changeable. And indeed, Punarvasu Nakshatra is famed for asking question after question after question after question, but not seeking answers. So all this could come up at the time of this 13th of July solar eclipse. And I think a personal issue is that Mercury can so squander your your expression, your direction, your work energy. I mean, Facebook is dreadful for that, because you get people hammering on, for example, about pointless social issues, which are often unacknowledged personal issues, which are not being addressed by the endless Facebooking. So you get the focus on this or that social issue, this or that shocking scandal. Conspiracy theories that don't really lie at the centre of your heart or your life. And this is so damaging. Magically, it's a drain to parade and posture your identity through words and gossip or, posting. We can be ambitious to express itself all the time. But that neglects our heart and our soul. And so it's very damaging to you in the long run, to your soul life and to your actual physical health. A driven communicator is a bad thing. So I suspect that sort of issue could rise to be addressed in the world and in us personally at the time of this eclipse. But no, oh yes, and indeed the ascendant of this eclipse conjuncts my natal Uranus. And basically Uranus is about revolution and inspiration. Uranus energy lay behind the French Revolution at the time he was discovered, and the United States War of Independence against the oppressive British Empire. So I expect inspiration and revolution to arise, and it's wonderful. It's been happening since Uranus entered Vedic Aries recently. But it has to be incorporated into the rest of one's life. It has to be grounded. It has to be harmonised with relationships and health. So the ascendant of this eclipse conjuncts my natal Uranus, but Uranus of this eclipse conjuncts my nodal axis. So I'm telling you this because, you see, I've read that this is a very important time in my destiny, a time of inspiration and revolution. So you can see the way I've constructed that statement, and you can look at your own chart and construct your own statement of what this eclipse means for you and your life. So important. So remember that eclipses work through polarising issues in your life, internalising them. You have to deal with them. If you're on the wrong course in life, there's earthquake, there's collapse. And July and August are very difficult energies. See my blog on the 27th of July, lunar eclipse, the longest one of the 21st century. See my blog and video on which is my astrology and healing newsletter for July, which covers all these energies for July, the 3 eclipses, the Mars-Ketu conjunction, and many more. So I'm here to try and offer sound and genuine inspiration. I'm not offering sort of blabbermouth channeling and happy, complacent, repetitious channeling. I'm trying to make genuine, authentic statements, and you can sort of translate that approach to your own chart, your own life. I've got a separate blog post on how to interpret the meaning for you of the house in your birth chart that the eclipse falls in, the eclipse moon, but also the eclipse sun and ascendant and any other key planet at the moment, like Uranus now. And also I've got a separate blog, and these are in my newsletter, my astrology and healing newsletter as well, on how to interpret it if a planet of the eclipse falls on a planet in your birth chart. Very big. So, have a go at interpreting the solar eclipse of the 13th of July positively in your life. You can get in touch with me for a reading at my astrology readings website, starwheelastrology.com, or you can roll on one of my very wonderful astrology courses where the focus is your chart and my chart with completely genuine sharing, discussion and deep learning provided. So, hope to hear from you. Thank you.